back to my channel. This is Tara with Mayhem Crafty Cards, and today we are going to take a closer look at the Honeybee stamps recent release. So, I want to show you guys my free gift first, because if you spend, I think, $75 or more, I'd have to double check. So you get these double-sided cardstock, and some of them have, like, thank you. They have words on them, sentiments on them. But you get a good many. Like that one says thank you. This one's wishing you all the best. And they're not like super thick, so it'd be great to layer on any card front. Like this one, you were in my thoughts. Another thank you. There's lots of thank yous in this one. Now, I got a lot of florals. Now, normally I don't work with a lot of florals just because it takes forever sometimes for me to color them. But this release kind of really spoke to me as my mom, who loves gardening, flower shopping, and so does my mother-in-law. So I thought this would be a really nice set to do for Mother's Day. So this is the thank you card. So that was the free gift, which is a nice, it's a nice little free gift. So now I got two sets that we're getting ready to retire. So the one is, this is Mother's Day, and I just really like the font on this one. Plus it's got that nice little floral image. Now the die, I was shocked because the die is huge. Like it cuts out so many things. And then you get the mother's die and the outline, or the shadow. I'll try to lay these out here. So what you could do for this one is, I want to say maybe this way. There we go. So you can make like a little bouquet with it. And you have, 3 decent size dies to go with this. So there's that one. And then here's the mother's die, and then the shadow die. And then this one just cuts out this floral little part here. So that was the only thing that was like on the retired list that caught my eye. So then I got the small card hot foil plates. I love these because you can not only just use them for these little small cards for the flower bouquets, you can use them for anything. I mean, there's a lot of great little sentiments in here. The next one I got was the Floral Vase, and you can see like I have some out already, because I'm going to be making a card as soon as I'm done sharing the haul. So yes, this one was Floral Vase. And then I picked up the coordinating stencils. And let me tell you what, guys. So I played with this yesterday as soon as I got it. And here is my little floral vase. So easy. So literally not even 5 minutes it took me to make this card, or make this, color this in. So it has pieces for all parts of the little vase. And then I got the coordinating die, which has like the little pick. And then here are these 2 little rectangle dies for the like the little sentiments. So you can kind of pop it in your little arrangement. And the last one I got was the Seeds of Kindness. I wanted to make little seed packets for my mom and my mother-in-law for Mother's Day, but I thought this might be good for the preschool kids who are also, they always do something little for Mother's Day, some kind of like little plant. So I thought I would make some of these for the preschool in my area. And then, of course,
so I switched over to a voiceover, so I can go ahead and
I'm going to go ahead
with you guys
and jump over to
the largest
the tutorial
image, and I'm going to stamp that out with the Ink on 3 blackout ink. Now I'm using Brussels smooth paper because I find that's the easiest to blend on. Now I don't know if it was this misty or if it's just because it's me, But I had to stamp this a couple times. I'm not really sure why, but I mean, I really gave it some pressure the second time. So I don't know if there's something like underneath my Misty, underneath my little black pad that's keeping me from getting a good image. But I really like this ink because I can use any medium, whether it's alcohol inks, my Zig markers, watercolor, anything. Plus, it's just right now it's my base image. So I'm going to keep my stamp exactly where it's at in my Misty, because once I'm done ink blending, I am going to restamp it. Because using the Distress Oxides, you kind of get like this little chalky finish on your image, which is fine. I mean, that's what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to grab the stencils, and let me count them here. I'm also using my Make Art station for these stencils because it was just a lot easier, and you really don't need to pixie spray them. I mean, they line up super easily. And I didn't speed this up because I wanted you guys to see, like, it really took like no time at all to color this image. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 images, and they color everything on the vase. I mean, even the water in the vase. Now, as I was going through all my stencils, and you'll see at the end, like, I completely forgot to stencil the stems. So I'm pulling out the new Saltwater Taffy. And let me tell you guys, I was so about this until I got my hands on it. It is such a good peachy color. It's almost literally the lighter version of Banded Coral. And I'm going to use that for the bottom parts of my leaves because I wanted them to be a little bit darker. Which you'll see as I did shift it on accident when I was putting my magnets down. So I had to reposition it, but it was fine. I mean, it literally lines up so easily. And with the stencils, I mean, you can bust out cards in like no time. Like, I have all my inks lined up. So I used Saltwater Taffy, Tattered Rose for my flowers. I used Twisted Citron and Lucky Clover for my leaves. And then I used Mustard Seed for the centers of my flowers. So like I said, super easy. I mean, even if you only use one color on the flowers, it's pretty much done. So this is where I'm going to line up the second stencil, and I'm going to use my Tattered Rose. Now, I did use a smaller brush because there is a little open image next to the one petal, and I did not want that to have the Tattered Rose on it. I wanted to keep that in with the mustard seed. So I used these tiny little brushes from Tailored Expressions, and they worked really well. Like, I was really happy with how they blended, and it was really seamless. So this set is super fun. I am not a big floral person, mainly because I have a hard time coloring them, and I don't know why, because I can color everything else just fine. So yeah, I just continued with the Tattered Rose, and like I said, everything else just fine. Florals struggle every single time, but I was really drawn to this set because I think they had the stencil set. And after watching Amy R's video, she used the stencils. I was like, okay, well, let's give it a try. If I don't like it, then, I don't have to use it, or I can, resell it. So I love this set. I'm usually not one to buy like the little bundles, but it just went so perfectly. You just have to get it. I mean, even if you don't get the stencils or the die, I mean, you can still get this, and it would be a great card front. So now this is where I'm going in with the tumble glass, and I'm just doing the vase. And for some reason, I don't know why, when I was doing the one set of leaves, I completely missed the stems of my flowers. Now, I did go back in after I was done filming, of course, and colored them in with a few of my Uhu markers. I mean, it was super basic. I just grabbed 2 different greens and just colored the stems in so they would, kind of match the ink blending. So yeah, this is why I didn't speed this up, because it literally did not take any time at all to get this colored in. I'm sorry for the quick zoom. I thought you guys couldn't see it, so I wanted to zoom in a little bit more. Now this is for the center of the flowers. This is where I brought in the fossilized amber. I was going to go with mustard seed, but I wanted it to be a little darker than the mustard seed. I feel like the fossilized amber has a little bit more of a brownier yellow to it, if that makes any sense. So it's not as super in your face yellow like the squeezed lemonade. And it was really simple. I mean, I literally just took my brush over the top of it. Quick, easy peasy, done. You guys will probably hear the wind in the background. The weather is so nice today. It's in the 70s, which we just had snow a couple days ago. So it's kind of nice to see the sun, but it's like super windy, and it kind of looks like it's going to storm here today. Hopefully not, but I'll take it over snow any day of the week. So for the leaves, what I did was I first laid down the twisted citron. I'm like, okay, I kind of wanted to add a little bit of contrast, but I did not want to go in and try to color them. So I laid it down, and I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of, a little bit too bright, but I wanted to keep the tips of the leaves lighter than the Lucky Clover. So I just did the whole thing with twisted citron, which is fine because, I mean, they blend so nicely together. And it's nice because, with the distress oxides, you really can blend all, any colors together without it. I mean, obviously you would want to have like the same color family, but they blend so nicely. Like I said, the only thing is that when you're doing this with these stencils, it does kind of make your black ink look a little chalky. So that's why I kept the stamp in the positioner exactly where it was when I first stamped this image. So I'm just using like the little bitty blenders from Tailored Expressions to just go in and just grab where I thought where it's going to be the darkest, where the flowers would kind of like overlap a little bit, or there would be a shadow, just to keep it so it wasn't just so flat and so one-dimensional. I mean, and you can go in and add, you can go in with your Copic markers or your Hoo's or whatever medium. I wouldn't suggest, water-based markers because, it's going to move the color around unless that's something that you want. Now this is where I just went in with the full Lucky Clover because I still wanted there to be a contrast between the leaves that I had just done and the ones that are around like the flower buds, and then the one leaf that's peeking out in between the other flowers. So I did notice that my stencil shifted, but luckily I didn't really have all that much done, and I was able to shift it back without it like getting ink where I didn't want it to go. Excuse me. But yeah, this was really fun and really easy to do, and I can think of so many color combinations for the flowers. Like I want to use Shaded Lilac and Villainous Potion. Kitsch Flamingo and Picked Raspberry. That would be a good color combination. I mean, even the you could even do the Abandoned Coral with I think Festive Berries would be good. So there's so many color combinations that you could do for the flowers. It doesn't necessarily just have to be a pink flower, but I just got the Saltwater Taffy, and you kind of just want to play with it a little bit, kind of see how it's going to look on your paper. So as you can see, everything's blended super nice. Love it. I'm going to go ahead and put my image back into my Misty, and I'm using Versa Fine Clear Twilight ink because I knew I wanted to heat emboss the lines. Plus, I'm not one to sit and wait for my stuff to dry. I'm like the most impatient person ever when it comes to waiting for stuff to dry. And I literally only had to stamp it once. I mean, I did put a little bit more pressure towards the middle of those flowers, and I think that's just because I have something stuck underneath the little foam pad in my Misty. But it was no big deal. I mean, any of the VersaFine clairs, as soon as you stamp them and heat emboss them, like, they're set. They're not going anywhere, and it looks so nice. And I do like how that deep, deep blue looks with the flowers. So I just grabbed my Brutus Monroe Icicle clear embossing powder, and I have, like you see, I have a huge jug of it because I use it so much. I mean, I've used this pretty much anytime I want to use my clear embossing powder. I mean, any image. And you notice I did not use a powder tool because I was so totally okay with it getting on my leaves and my flower, because it's just, once you see it after I start heat embossing it, and I probably should have, I should have heated my gun up sooner, but I couldn't wait to see what it was going to look like after that clear embossing powder went on. And you'll be able to tell, because right now it looks like super matte, and once you start embossing with it, it's going to be like really, really shiny, and it just gives it such a nice finished look. So you can kind of see there where it's just starting to finally shift over, and there's a spot that I didn't, thankfully I seen it before I was, turned my heat gun off, but I just feel like it just adds just an extra little something to it. It just looks so finished. So, and you can never get tired of seeing heat embossing powder melt. It's just one of those things. So I am going to go ahead and use the coordinating die and cut that out. Now, the image does come with 2 other sets of the flowers that are on the vase. I didn't use them today. I still want to play around with them a little bit more. I, for some reason, cannot get the... I'm having a hard time lining up the stencils, but I think it's just me. So I did go ahead and I used my foil hot plate sentiments, and I'm trying to grab them real quick without making too much noise. And I used the word congrats, and there's congrats is on there, like, I think 2 different times. Oh my gosh, I hope I didn't just put it away. But yeah, I think I put it away. There's so many sentiments that could be used for so many things. Like, it's not just tied just to this stamp. And as soon as I can find, oh, here it is. Excuse me, guys. So it has enjoy, happy birthday, on my mind, hooray, like I said, congrats, and it's got two different fonts, which is really nice. I miss you, hello, hug. Oh my gosh, these are so hard to read backwards. But anyways, you got for you, I love you, thanks, enjoy, love you, again, and they're in different fonts, so it makes it so nice. And this was so easy, just to pop on my foil plate and do just that little area. And I used, let's see, which one did I use? I used the Aura. I'm just black cardstock. I just thought it would pop really nicely. So I did go ahead with my Salvage Patina and just kind of loosely blended the background. I didn't want it to be like overpowering. I didn't want it to take away from my image. So I did go ahead and I just sprayed some water on my hands and just flicked it on there. For some reason I could not find my Tim Holtz sprayer. But I mean, even if you don't have that, just spray some water on your fingers and just kind of flick it on there. And it'll give you such a nice look. So I did put foam tape on the back of the little, oh my gosh, the little floral pick. We'll just say it's a pick. And pop that up because I did not, like I said, I didn't play with the other floral images just yet. I know you can kind of stack them on top of each other to give it like more dimension. So I laid that down. I set my vase down to see where I was going to place that congrats because I knew it was going to, I did not want the image to like cover the word. And I used Taylor Expressions gold foil for this, for the background and like the little pick. So everything is popped up, and it's just so, I'm so in love with this set. I cannot wait to give my mom her card for Mother's Day, because I am going to be using this set in the Seeds of Kindness, which I will have a video on. I'm going to play with it just a little bit more, get a little bit more comfortable with it before I post the video, but I think that'll be a lot of fun. And I thought about doing, making little seed packets for like the preschool, because I don't know about you guys preschool, but ours usually does like a flower, you know, they plant like a couple little seeds, and it's super cute and super sweet. So I thought of doing that for them. So I am going to add a picture of the finished card, and you can see where I colored in the stems. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this set, and then I'll see you guys next time. Bye.